Hey, beautiful people, it's Victoria here again. So this is Soulful Conversations, and be sharing a couple of like different questions and tips and topics and so on and so forth, right? So it's a Soulful Conversation and Jewelry Alchemist. I oftentimes get asked specific questions by my clients that I'm helping when I do our Soulful Conversations in person or online. And one of the questions that I often get asked is, how can you identify who you are? So that the daunting question of who am I? And who am I pretty much is one of those questions that's kind of tricky because people always say, who am I? I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a da 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 da. And they throw out all these titles. However, they're not sitting with themselves and doing introspection into who you are. So, who you are is not your title, it's not your job. It's not a mom. It's not a daughter. No, who you are is a person that is highly sensitive, a person who is unique, a person who embodies vulnerability, authenticity, a person who operates in gratitude, a person who nourishes their body, takes care of themselves, a person who is deeply intuitive, a person who is exceptionally driven. Like, those are things when you ask yourself, who am I? And so, based on the conversations that I have with my clients, when they ask me, Dhylles, can you help me figure out who I am? Absolutely. And I'll ask them certain questions. I'll tell them close their eyes and take a deep breath. And I'll say to them, okay, what is the one thing that pops up in your spirit when you ask yourself, who am I? And what does that look like to you? What does that feel like to you? Because I'm very, very big on feeling as opposed to thinking. Because when you think, your mind is all over the place. We have imposter syndrome. We have negative thoughts. We have positive thoughts. And it's just like it's just a fuck shit. Lack of better words. So let's go based off of feeling of who you are as opposed to the aspect of what you think you are. And the other part about that is too, who you may want to get out the mindset of believing that you are who people think you are and say you are. That's the first thing. I know growing up for me, it was like, oh, you're this, you're that, you're next, da 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 da. And I subscribe to those belief systems because family members and friends and people who love you are saying these things to you. However, as you grow and you become the person that you are, and you are someone who is a truth seeker, a seeker, who is into knowledge and wisdom and getting to know yourself and being in tune with yourself on a deeper level, you question, am I really that person? Am I really this? Am I really that? And growing up, I was programmed to think that I'm a people pleaser. I was programmed to think that everyone's needs came before mine. I was programmed to think I'm supposed to be doing XYZ for everybody and their mama. I'm the oldest of four. And so I had to take care of my siblings when I was younger. And so it's actually getting out of that mindset that I was supposed to be a caretaker, take care of everyone, make sure everybody had everything that they needed, made people happy, da 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 da. And it was like, okay, well, how about you? How are you making yourself happy? Who are you at the end of the day? Who do you want to be at the end of the day? Because you have the ability and the opportunity to create who you are. I'm going to say this one more again. You have the ability and the opportunity to create who you are. So who does that look like to you? And how do you want to show up for yourself? And how do you want to advocate for yourself? That is who you are. So me, I am a little girl, a teenager, and a grown woman all at the same time. That's who I am. And I say that to say the little girl in me needs a lot of love, reassurance, validation, acceptance, approval, da 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 da, because she never received that growing up in order for her to feel safe. The teenager in me needs to be heard, needs affection as well, and wants to feel exceptionally safe, and she wants to feel as if though she is a sacred being because we didn't get that growing up. So there's instances in my life where I am very impulsive, and I just be doing some fuck shit because somebody pissed me off or whatever the case may be. And that's when I know I'm operating in the teenager in me. There are instances where my feelings get hurt really easy. I'm overly sensitive. I'm very emotional, that's when I know that's the little girl in me. And so it's having to pay attention to those two parts of who I am really, really helps me to know where I am right now on my journey in my life. And so also there is a part of me, the dark part of me, the dark side of me, who can be vengeful, who can be manipulative, who can be having like narcissistic tendencies, because we all have that trait in us, whether we want to believe it or not, because we do. So it's honoring who you are in being your light and your dark and what that looks like to you. Your light side is all loving, love and light, peace, compassion, confidence, joy, da, da, da. The dark side of you is like, I don't feel good about myself. I don't like the way my body looks. I have this stretch mark. My hair is not this. I'm not confident enough. I'm not talented enough, or whatever it is that you tell yourself. So there's two sides. There's light and there's dark. So you're both, and that's part of who you are. So take the opportunity to break it down for yourself. Write down on a piece of paper or whatever. Okay, this is my light side. This is the stuff I love about myself. This is my dark side. This stuff I can't fucking hate it. I can't stand it with myself. I hate that about me. And hate is a strong word, but some people hate themselves, and some people hate their characteristics, their personality, their appearance. And some people walk around life identifying themselves as that. Bad, dark, da 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 da. And then there's some people who embrace both. I'm a person who is practicing on a daily basis to embrace both, because we have both light and dark. You can't get away from it. So it's being able to accept and embrace who you are on your journey. Are you a person that gets pissed off easily? Ask yourself, why do I get pissed off easily? Because that's part of who you are. If you're a person that is always joking around all the time, you don't know how to be serious, question that. Like, why am I joking around all the time? Why am I not serious? Is it like a defense mechanism? Is it something from childhood? Like, really, really sit with yourself to ask yourself, who are you? And speak to the little girl, a little boy, a little person inside of you. Speak to that teenager inside of you. And ask them, like, what is it that they need from you? Because they'll tell you. Sometimes when you're in the mood for ice cream or Skittles or any type of sweets or any type of something that's like kid-like, that's your little child and you're like, okay, well, I want this today. And then when you're rebelling or, like for me, for instance, I dyed my hair the other day, blonde. The teenager in me loves blonde hair for whatever reason. So I gave her what she wanted. The bitch got blonde hair. The goddess in me, the queen in me, the spiritual being in me wanted me to start wearing head wraps. So I'm wearing my head wraps today, this week anyway. The spiritualist in me wanted to get henna, so I got some henna. So it's paying attention to yourself to identify who you are. I am a multidimensional being, all-encompassing my emotions and feelings. I am a person who sits in her feelings and her emotions. And I'm a person that learned to not dissociate. I would dissociate the fuck out of myself and just allow my soul to go wherever the hell it wanted to do and come back. I used to be a person who never advocated for her needs, and now I advocate for her needs. That's part of my needs, and that's part of who I am as a person, as a spiritual being having a human experience. So it's really, really sitting down with yourself and just be like, who am I? And the other part about that is who do I want to be? Who do I want to be and how I want to show up for myself, and how do I want to show up in the world? And what is it that brings my heart joy? What is it that makes my spirit smile? What is it that keeps me out of my head? Because my imposter syndrome runs fucking heavy sometimes. So asking yourself those questions will actually help you to find out exactly who you are. However, at the same time, if you are a seeker, someone who is looking for truth, authenticity, and wanting to connect deeper with yourself, and you don't know how to start or what to do, I'm here to assist you with my Soulful Conversations, as well as Soulful Conversations and Jewelry Experience, where I actually craft a piece of jewelry or jewelries for you, either a bracelet or maybe a waist bead or an anklet or something to that effect. And you can utilize that as an accountability symbol or motivational amulet that is connected to you. You're connected to it. You're so in tune with your bracelets or your waist beads or whatever, that it helps you to remember who you are. It helps you to remember the commitment that you're making to yourself during our soulful conversations when we're speaking, either in person or I guess Zoom or Google Meet or whatever the hell, StreamYard, one of those things, to help you get to a place of understanding who you are, why you do the things you do, why do you think the way you think, why do you act the way you act, and getting into the little girl, a little boy, a little person in you, and getting into the teenage you, and getting into the 20, 30, 40 something you, and why you're still operating the way that you do in certain aspects of your life. My services are for people who are open and ready and willing to be vulnerable, to be uncomfortable, to be messy, to be imperfect, to honor their mistakes, to want to know more about who they are, who are always wanting to learn, always students of life. And I also share my experiences of the things that I've been through in my own life so that you know that you're not alone. It's a soul-to-soul conversation. That's why I call it Soulful Conversations, because when we're done, your soul is going to feel so full. I'm going to pour into you like no other. I'm going to implement a whole bunch of different actionable exercises and tools, and we can come up with this like plan of how you want to create the life that you want as a self-discovery seeker, truth seeker, soul seeker, a seeker in general, and what that looks like to you, so that you can walk away feeling happy, peaceful, knowing who you are, what you want, and you no longer allow fear to make you not do the things you know you're supposed to be doing. And figuring out your purpose. Like, what is your purpose? Everyone has a purpose and a role to play in their lives in this world. And helping you to know when to access the little person, the teenager, the 20-something, 30-something, whatever, how to access that and how to know when you're going through those elements of who you are, because it pops up when you were angry or upset and you're pouting. That's the little you. When you're pissed off because someone said or did something to you and you want to go slash them tires, that's the teenage you. Oh yeah. So we gotta like identify. We don't have to do anything, but it would be good for you to identify those parts of yourself. I encourage you to identify those parts of yourself. And again, if you don't know how to start, you have no idea what the hell this is, and you're like intrigued and interested, connect with me. I would like to help you and work with you. Talk to you guys later. And also, please subscribe to my channel and make sure that you share my videos with someone else that you feel would be interested in receiving the messages that I have to offer.